In this video, we will be taking a look at every single outfit Scarlett O'Hara wears in Gone with the Wind. The first dress that we see Scarlett wear is her white ruffled day dress. At this point in the film, the year is 1861 and Scarlett is 16 years old. Day dresses from this time period featured high necklines and long sleeves. Although Scarlett's dress does not have long sleeves, it speaks more into her character. Her dress features a red belt and she wears red bows in her hair. Dresses from this time period up until 1865 all featured the bell shape, where volume is seen in a circular fashion all around the dress, without an emphasis particularly in the front or back, but equally around. You can also notice the dresses of Scarlett's sisters and her mother. The next look we see Scarlett in is her undergarments as she's getting ready for the garden barbecue. Women's undergarments of this time period consisted of drawers, a chemise, a corset, a hoop skirt, and then a petticoat. All of this would have been underneath her beautiful green springtime dress. This dress, of course, was worn to the barbecue, but Mammy points out that this dress is too low cut for the occasion, and dresses of this nature, being low cut with short sleeves, are evening dresses. And when she gets to the barbecue, you can notice that every other woman has a high neckline on their dress, and their dresses all feature long sleeves, for the most part. You can notice the fine details on the women's dresses, and most of them accompany their dresses with bonnets, which was the style of the day. There are a few other straw hats, like the one that Miss Scarlett wears. The women also pair their dresses with gloves, shawls, and parasols. This dress must have been one of the most beautiful that Scarlett owned, as she wanted to look her best for Ashley Wilkes. I do agree with Scarlett and feel that this dress is very stunning indeed. And here is just a look at what the men were wearing for the barbecue. Next up we have Scarlett's wedding dress. This dress is done in a champagne-colored silk with beautiful embroidery and floral appliques, and these gorgeous large, big, poofy sleeves that are princess-like in appearance. We can see that she wears a triple strand of pearls and gloves that match her dress perfectly. Scarlett is soon after seen in mourning. She wears all black, and again the style of the dress is hoop style, where the skirt is large and bell-shaped in appearance. There is a large brooch she wears at the top of the garment. At this point in the film, we can also notice the other dresses of the women who were not in mourning. Very colorful, the sleeves are off the shoulder, and very beautiful. Scarlett desires to get out of mourning right away, because the only item of interest that she can wear that isn't black would be her brooch, but the brooch would need to be very subdued and modest in appearance. Scarlett tries on a few bonnets and hats, and decides to wear the one that Red Butler gives her to see Ashley Wilkes, while in her mourning attire. For Christmas, Scarlett gets out of her mourning wear and wears instead a green frock. The dress features lace detailing on the collar and on the sleeves, and she pairs her dress with the beautiful brooch in the center. The next day, she is seen in her red and white day dress, keeping with the Christmas theme. This dress features again a very full skirt, but is less conservative than the one prior. I love the pleating and ruching details throughout the bodice. As the war worsens and progresses, we see many of her beautiful dresses are lost and are impractical during this time. Scarlett wears two different wartime dresses. The first one looks like this. There is a tan, tight bodice and a big hoop skirt. The dress is nothing fancy and shows her disparity in income. When observing the other wartime dress, we can see that there is no crinoline underneath. But the dress does feature more details than the one before, not only within the pattern, but within the sleeves and skirt. This dress sees Scarlett through some of the hardest and most challenging times during her life. And here is a closer look at the bonnets and the hats that Scarlett wore during this time. You can see that they are all pieced together from various lost ensembles. While watching the film, did you happen to notice the changing sleeves of the dress? Before, the dress featured ruched sleeves, and later on the dress features smooth sleeves. Scarlett's most impressive dress is her green velvet curtain dress. This dress, of course, is made when she returns back to Tara and finds her home in disrepair. The curtains remain the only last bit of opulence that the family had, and Scarlett has the idea of turning those curtains into a new dress. The dress features shades of green and gold. The dress is done in the signature bell shape, and the gorgeous hat is certainly worth mentioning. The hat features black feathers and the gold fringe from the bottom of the curtains. Her next dress is a red cotton and silk day dress. This dress features a large skirt, high neckline, and long sleeves. There is also black trim and a small brooch at the top. You'll notice that this dress, her gold and plaid day dress, shares a similar collar style, as well as the dress that she wears after this one. Now that the war is over and she is married yet again, Scarlett is able to express her love for fashion in her clothing. The dress features many layers and colors and details which are fine and lovely. This is the only shot we see of this red day dress. It has the same collar as the ones prior, and small buttons up the front, just like Miss Melanie's. Now Scarlett wears her sky blue dress with black piping details. You can see the fine black detailing all throughout the garment, and the skirt is beginning to have an emphasis towards the back. She pairs her dress with beautiful contrasting accessories such as her gloves and her beautiful extravagant hat. Her next look is her white cotton day dress. The dress has fine needlework and appliques. There is also beautiful sky blue details, such as in the bow at the top, in the bottom of the dress, and in the shawl that she carries with her. The dress features many feminine elements and is beautiful indeed. When Scarlett's husband, Frank Kennedy, dies, she goes into mourning again. This time, we can see that the dress is a little slimmer in circumference when it comes to the skirt. The dress is very conservative, and again, she'd be able to change out that brooch. And during this time, she decides to marry Red Butler. Right away, we see the couple go on their honeymoon all across Europe. And the first outfit we see the newly married Scarlett in is her gold and white dressing gown. The dressing gown is in a beautiful gold color with white fur accents. In her hair are beautiful gold and yellow bows, and there is a belt on her nightgown which shares a similar color. While in France, she wears a blue silk dinner gown with yellow birds on the sleeve. We can also see her fine sapphire and diamond necklaces and earrings. When Scarlett returns to her newly built home after her honeymoon, she wears her black and white dress. This is a white dress that features black accents throughout, especially in the sleeves and in the front of the dress. You can notice that the shape of the skirt is slimmer in style, and she wears a little white hat on top of her head, which was the fashion of the day. While Scarlett is visiting Tara, she decides to wear a green and white dress. This dress features many details and many beautiful overlays in the skirt. It is reminiscent of the barbecue dress which she wore many years ago. In Red Butler's room, there is a portrait of Miss Scarlett. In the portrait, she wears a blue velvet evening dress with a lace shawl. Now, I have found a similar dress in real life that I thought would be fun to put in the video. As Scarlett is having the baby, Red Butler is seen in his smoking jacket or robe, and I really love this robe, so I wanted to include it as well. After having the baby, Scarlett is seen in her blue dressing gown and a nightgown underneath. The dressing gown features white fur trim, and the nightgown features blue ribbon details. She is soon after seen in her chemise and corset. Now these are beautifully detailed with lace, embroidery, and are all in a yellow and gold color. She then puts on her green and gold dressing gown. This dressing gown is reminiscent of 14th century styles. The cascading sleeves, train, and beautiful gold embroidery is truly magnificent. I also wanted to take notice of Belle's dress and how beautiful and rich the colors are, how beautiful the flowers and the lovely hairpiece she wears are. I find this dress to be very gorgeous. Scarlett's next look is her pink and black striped day dress. The dress is one of the most detailed and beautiful that Scarlett wears when it comes to her day looks. There are unexpected elements throughout, and there is a pattern of boldness in this choice of dress. I do find the sleeves to be unbelievably stunning as well. Another beautiful dress that Scarlett wears is her white day dress with a velvet jacket. When taking a look at this dress, you can see just how much the form of the dress has changed and is now much more fitted, with the emphasis to the back in the bustle shape. Her dress features a collar which is reminiscent of the 16th century. I must say I adore the small velvet jacket and how the detail continues all the way down the back of the dress, making it look very fitted and put together, although they are separate pieces. For a short moment, we also see Scarlett in her white chemise and corset. Red Butler goes into her closet to pick out an outfit for her to wear to Ashley Wilkes' birthday party, and indeed he picks out a number. To the party, she wears her red ruby evening gown. This gown is unforgettable and is definitely one of the gowns everybody knows from the film. The dress is extremely extravagant, suggestive, and even vulgar for the occasion. But that doesn't make it any less gorgeous than it is. The dress is form-fitting and features rhinestones and beautiful feathers, and she pairs the dress with a tulle overlay. When Scarlett returns home, she puts on her red velvet dressing gown. The collar on this dressing gown again features themes of the 16th century. The sleeves of the dressing gown have the same beautiful white lace underneath, and there's a beautiful ruching of the sleeves, making them large and flowy. Scarlett is then seen wearing her white cotton nightgown with beautiful lace detailing. This nightgown is rather simple, but beautiful in its small details. Next up, we see Scarlett in her orange dressing gown. This gown features fur trim and is also reminiscent of the 16th century. We can see that the details are very fine and that the form of the dress is very slim. As she is recovering from her accident, she is seen in a blue dress with a black fur coat. Even as a woman who isn't feeling the best, she still certainly tries to look her best. Scarlett's final dress is her mourning dress, this being the last mourning dress that she wears, having worn a total of 3 during the film. This one is the most form-fitting and again has a high collar, which seems to be one of her favorite styles nowadays. The dress has a long train in the back and she has a huge brooch she wears at the top of the collar. Tell me in the comments down below which dress is your favorite.